My name is Coach Oscar. A lot of you have seen me or met me or meets me on any of the social media. I use Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn the most. These are my most uh, uh, platforms that I use most of the time. I'm a transformational coach, and by the grace of God, they call me Africa #1 business strategist and life coach. Now, the reason why I go by that is it used to be a dream. I've seen people's life being transformed by what I do. And this is not really about me. I was born with a black spoon, not a white spoon, not a silver spoon. Mine was so black. So I look back at where I was coming from. I came from a very remote part in Nigeria. Yeah, my father was a prince or a crown king, but we were broke. And yeah, he was a teacher. I hate to be a teacher then because most of my family were just going through that line as if it was meant for all of us. I just hated just sharing knowledge, but you are broke. I hated it that much. Anyway, that's my story. I left my home while I think I was under 5 years, left the village to go live in a big city with my brother, who eventually trained me, sent me to university, and raised me to be who I am. I remember I became the first in my family to have a very big corporate job in the bank, and I was earning so much money. And then one day I lost the job. I never saw it coming. It just happened. And then when it happened, I asked myself questions like, where do I go from here? What must I do? Is this the end of that beautiful career? So I sat back. I remember that while I was still from my first year in university, I wrote a book, first book, Who Am I? And then I wrote my second book while I was still in the paid employment, thriving in the marketplace. And then I wrote the third one. So while I was still in the paid space, I was working part-time. I was training. I get called to come coach or even train some microfinance banks and some company. So while the job was going, I sat back there and was asking myself, what else can I do? What is it that life can do with me? My life became that kind that I sat back and I began to ask myself, what can I do with this life or this career that is broken? All of a sudden, I started identifying. I've seen people train and they get paid. I've seen people speak, they get paid. I've seen people do those stuff that I do, write books, and they are making money from there. They traveled overseas and all of that. How can I monetize? I say this over and over again. The reason being that if you don't learn the business of what you're doing, you will just be occupying space, pretending to be in that business. But the truth is, you're not in that business. You're just occupying space, disrupting, disturbing other people who could take those clients, but you just there occupying space. So I learned the act of speaking. I went sign up for coaching program, took some certification program, became a coach and a speaker. And today I can boldly say that I'm actually monetizing those gigs. And COVID came, it became like my best year. In fact, in my coaching business, this year is like the best. In fact, it's the best yet. So this is just a little part of me. I've been privileged to travel to over 8 countries. I've written 2 books, and I have 3 beautiful daughters. Guys, it's nice to have you here. And the reason why we're here this evening is just for us to share our experience and then see how the ultimate thing, like when I was writing this on my social media, is if we'll be able to profile some maybe strategies for 2021, looking at how you can position yourself, what you're doing, it doesn't matter what industry you are. The truth is this, if you're not constantly innovating and developing yourself, in fact, you would soon be out of date. It's just not like saying a cliche, but it's definitely going to happen to you. So tonight, it is about reimagining our future. It's about sharing strategies and then finding in-depth insight into where we think the future of 2021 is going to go, which direction. How do we position ourselves so we can dominate and have a transformation year? All right, guys, let's get started. I have a couple of many of my friends in the room. I acknowledge you. Thank you so much. My IT guy is here. Thank you for joining, and all of you from the different cities, different part of the world where you're joining us from. Today, we're going to get started. Like I said, my goal is to help you finish strong, finish 2020 strong, and also come back stronger in 2021. I said something very profound in the beginning. The difference between where you are and why you're not achieving the kind of result that you're not achieving is just something you're missing. Maybe discipline, maybe one idea or one thing you need to do, but you're not doing. So we want to dissect this evening, and I'm honored to have this team of experts in the room. Remember, it doesn't matter how successful you are in life. If you don't have a goal, it's just like you're dreaming. And we know that merely dreaming doesn't guarantee anything. Every success has a principle. Guys, this series is actually the second one, the series or second part two of the first one we started. Maybe if you weren't in the first one, you can request for a replay where we actually dissect goal setting. It became an art of discipline. There was commitment. There was the big why. Now, today we're just trying to move from there, even though we're still touching on goal setting and how to end the year strong and also dominate your 2021. We're much more looking at how do we redefine or reimagine. That's why I love the perspective from where Flo was coming from now. We are aware. We all know that even if COVID has to live with us for the next 5 years, we will have to eat. We'll have to pay bills. So we will find a way, creative ways to survive. Having a mastermind group. And for me, this is the one thing that I kind of speak to most people. I wrote down here in my 5 strategies that I intend to share at the end here in terms of how you can actually end the year strong and dominate. And one of it is, I said, you can't do this alone. I dare people, stop trying to work so hard all by yourself, thinking that you can actually figure out success by yourself. That is just more or less like a long route. It's like someone, I walk on the 8th floor of the office, and there were times that, although that was for exercise anyway, every morning I try to use the staircase. Now, I learned something because while doing that work, for me, it was more of an exercise. Why doing the hard thing? Whereas think the amount of time, the effort put in climbing the stairs till you get to the 8th floor. And then you have someone who uses the lift, which is just in a split seconds you are there. There is no need trying to reinvent the wheel all by yourself. You have people around you. You have books, you have tapes, you have all of those materials. So we are inexcusable when we try to say, oh, it's so hard, it's difficult. That's why we're here. I come from a place where we have this popular saying that human beings are doors. Human beings or people are door. When we mean door, D-O-O-R. So literally, it means the person you meet can literally open new doors for you. And that's how life revolves. We're not all complete ourselves. At some point, we need people. I know most people go out there in terms of whether in a one-on-one physical networking, most people struggle with how do I start the conversation? What exactly should I say? I feel failure is one thing everyone should take into consideration when you're looking at planning for the future. Because the truth is, things most times don't always just happen the way we always plan. And how do you adjust? I love the scenario, the way you bring in the COVID experience in terms of how countries, governments, businesses had to make plans to respond to this unknown tragedy unknown pandemic we're not used to. We can all learn from this because if you look at your life, the goals you set for 2020 not forthcoming, then what do? For the first time, the government, well, they were not paying, they didn't budget for what happened, but had to make a plan, a backup plan. People were not working, some were receiving salaries. So how do you adjust when you hit the rock? What do you do? Like I said in the beginning, the reason for this is that we make you uncomfortable. We want to take you to a position where you're no longer comfortable at where you are, because for anything worth doing, any positive things would require that you shift your mind from the way you have always done it. Now, I promise you that I'm going to give you some pointers to possibly strategies you can use to dominate the year, um, how you can end your year strong, and not just ending on year strong, but get ready to take your 2021 back, make it your transformative year. I wrote down a few things. From my experience in, I think, like 6 to 7 years I've been doing this coaching and training, I found that what people motivate people in life is not really about money. The things that motivate people most times in life is not money. The key thing that motivates people is their big why. It is the why that pushes them to wherever they want to go to. It is the why that helps their endurance. The why is something like that is their fear. This is the thing that keeps them going. Your goal will not make sense if you don't have a why. What is the why? What is the purpose for doing what you're doing? And you know, when your why is not, can't stand the test of time, because every why is subjected to a kind of test, to a furnace test. If your why can't stand, okay, why do you need a job? Why do you need a new business? Why do you need new clients? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why will you have to wake up in the morning and go to work? So you need to have a very strong why. So I wrote down here 5 things that can actually help you to go to the next level, help you end the year, dominate 2020, 2021. And the first thing I wrote here is I said you have to have develop a growth mindset. You need to have a growth mindset. Now, when it comes to having a growth mindset, I wrote here, I said, even if and every day you are 1% better, make that a goal. Every blessed day, every day should end with you knowing something you didn't know yesterday, doing something you never did before. Find a way to get better. So in these ever-changing times that we're finding ourselves, we don't even know what is ahead of us. Learning, having new skills, mindset, new behavior to adjust. These are very important things that you need, and you'll be able to survive. We don't know what 2021 is going to throw at us, but with new skills, you're definitely going to scale. With new behavior, you will know how to adjust. You will know how to build relationship. With a strong mind that is focused. The second thing I noted here is you have to innovate constantly. And some of you on my program, on the Mastermind program, we've taken time to talk about innovation. Why innovation is different from just trying to do something new. Innovation is the why. Innovation is the aha, the extra thing you add to. So everyone can be doing the same exact thing. But innovation is just how you do it. So let's just say everyone are consulting, everyone are speakers, everyone are, how do you keep touch with your clients? What are the things that you make them feel? Remember, there's this saying that people will not remember what you say, but they will never forget how you made them feel. So what is it you doing? What is it you do that stands you out? That could be just as little as it is, but it is innovative. So you are in a paid space. What differentiates you from the rest? You may constantly be re-innovating, constantly be changing your approach, constantly be changing the way you do things, constantly finding new ways. Every of my clients, I do ask, so I challenge you, find ways to do what you're doing better. So if you work and you got a better result this week, this month, or even if maybe COVID came and you migrated into online, okay, fine, that's just a starter. By 2021, almost everyone are already virtual. Almost everyone are doing the same exact thing you're doing. The question is, How do you differentiate yourself and how do you now stand out from the rest? Now we do all things. So you need to have that innovative mindset. So as you plan, you are thinking, how else can I do what I'm doing differently? And that was why I said in the first place that every day seek to find a way to at least be 1% better than you were yesterday. The other thing I noted here is I talked about commit to your vision. And this is where your big why comes to play. So what is the big why that keeps you? What is the thing that's that's keeping you along? Your big why is that thing that even if everything else is failed, you stick to that. We have Elon Musk. Elon Musk today is worth over $800 billion. I think, Graham, you can correct me if I'm not right there. He's among the, I think if not, he has outpaced Bill Gates right now. Richest, the fourth or the third richest man on the planet Earth. The thing is if you take a look at Elon Musk, you see that in 2008 or thereabout, he was broke. Now, the guy sold his company, PayPal, and then went into different businesses, just went almost bankrupt. But today, look at who he is. Now, the lesson we can learn here is he stood by his vision. So it wasn't just about, I have a dream, I have a goal, I have a target, and then you stay away. No, he stood by it. His big why kept him going. I love what Wiley said. Are you the kind of entrepreneur or the guy in the paid space that you just, today you're doing this, and by the next time we check again, you're doing something else? By the time we check again, you're already in another line of business. You're not in real estate. Oh, I thought you were a speaker. No, I'm not a real estate guy. Oh, before you know again, you are now the guy that is doing a binary trading, Forex, and all of that. You can't be predicted to say this is what you're doing. So people who succeed and people who go far in life, they stick to their vision. You need to commit to what you're doing. And that's why you have to be so clear about your big why. Let your big why drive. What is it that is pursuing you or helping you, driving you, eating you up? What is it you can do or you can do differently from the rest? These things play key roles in how you end your year and how you start the new year. Talking about goals, are you the kind that is already just waiting? Oh, let's get into the new year. Can I say this? I am not the advocate or a fan of people who do New Year resolution. Oh, on January 1, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. And then by March, in fact, February, you already forgotten what you said you would do. So I'll say to you, ditch and scrap away, trade away all of this New Year stuff. They are scam. What you need is, you need the discipline, you need the mind, you need a determination. You need a why you want to stop what you want to stop or what you want to start what you want to start. That's all you need to get your goal. So it's not the end or the beginning of the calendar year or date that will make you successful. So you can start now. Your new year can even be now. Your determination, your commitment, your focus to change your story can start right away. Now I talked about point number 4, recruit and retain a team. Don't you think it's stupid, pardon my word, when some of you who have teams, who have people working for you, you recruit people, smart people you call them, and then you begin to detect for them what to do and how to do it. Now, invariably, no change is going to come. But I see that was exactly what Steve Jobs does. Most people in our last goal-setting mastermind we had, we learned that Steve Jobs wasn't really the best entrepreneur. That guy wasn't really so good at what he does. But he was so exceptional in bringing the best team, Steve Wozniak, and all of his team that he brought together to give him what he wants. Now, don't try to go alone. 2021, hire a coach, get a mentor. it's definitely going to be too hard for you to just thinking that your own idea can help you scale. There's one secret I give you in one of my coaching programs that I want to share with you, how you can actually hold yourself accountable. Because we can talk about goal setting or setting goals, creating goals, smart goals, without talking about the concept of accountability. This is where, if your company is just maybe you and your wife, and like I do, I've got a few team working for me, but during the COVID, we had to let some people go. Now, look at the thing. How about you start thinking you can hire some people, mentors, and put them like your non-executive director, people you are accountable to. I have my mentor, Shay, who once in every 3 months or 6 months, he calls me because before that period, we set a goal. This is what I want to do. This is where I hope I should be. So it is part of like my board of directors, but not necessarily present in the company. We share goals, we share strategies together, and then he comes back 3 months, 4 months later to say, how has it been? What have you done? Did you achieve? Did you not achieve? If yes, how can you do better? If no, what needs to be done better? So I feel for you to succeed in 2021, going forward from now, the best time to start is now. Remember the Chinese proverb, the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. What do you need to do? Start right away. Reach out to mentors, reach out to coach. Don't think you can go like a month, a quarter, 6 months without having someone hold you accountable. I could predict how far you're going to go because you wouldn't really go far. But when you have coaches and mentors and people who hold you accountable, it's not convenient because we always like, we don't want to account for, more especially the financials, the finance. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to talk about how, who tells you when and how to do, you as your entrepreneur, as that person. We don't like it. But we see we become more successful when we have someone hold us accountable in terms of how we approach that same exact thing we say we want to do. If you are an entrepreneur, just get ready that there are times you will get up and you will get knocked down. There are days you will just show up in the office or your workplace or expecting a business and it just gets to be disappointment. So get ready for ups and downs, roller coaster. But that is why you are an entrepreneur. You chose to go in there because as an entrepreneur, it's not really like a guaranteed success. We know you could fail many times, but one big success can just turn everything around. So I would say to anyone who is an entrepreneur here, or self-employed, or even if you are in a paid space, some bad days are always there. Bad days will always come. But you should never, never ever give up on what is important to you. It doesn't matter how many times you've tried, keep trying again. It doesn't matter how many times you fail, keep failing again. But I believe in life, if you fail 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, even if it is 99 times and you get one success can make up for all the failure that you had in the past.